Hi everyone. I am so glad to see you all here. My name is Rukov. I am a certified parenting coach, and today I will talk to you about a new way to communicate with everyone around you. In the next 20 to 30 minutes, I will show you how you can improve your communication approach, how you can be more authentic when talking to others, and how you can have self awareness while keeping those conflicts we all would like to avoid at a minimum. I know that many of us parents struggle with getting our kids to listen, and we struggle with feeling heard and appreciated by our family. We really want to feel like we matter to those who matters to us. And I can tell you that this new way of communication will make it possible. We will talk about the framework of this approach, and in the end, I will show you a real example on how this approach works and how you can have a productive conversation with your family while also feeling heard, seen, understood. And imagine that your children, your toddlers, and your teenagers, they will feel heard and understood as well. Imagine how much more cooperation and connection you can have using this method. As you can see, I am very passionate about it. So let's do this. Let's talk about communication. I'd like to introduce you to a concept of nonviolent communication, or for short, we call it NVC. What is communication? Study.com defines it as the process of conveying information, ideas, or feelings from one person and another. Typically through a shared system of symbols or signs, and in our case, verbal and body language. We learn to communicate from the moment we're born, if not before. Babies cry, they make faces, and use body language to communicate even before they learn to speak. As we grow up, we begin to communicate about our needs and wants and other aspects of our lives through language by speaking. We are never directly taught to communicate. We learn from watching others, watching our caregivers, our parents, our grandparents, and all other people around us. Our communication development and style is affected very much by our environment around us and by the social expectations we grow up in. That is why often enough people have a hard time relaying their needs, their wants, their thoughts, and ideas to others. And in return, they have a hard time understanding what others are sharing with them. So meet Marshall Rosenberg, a psychologist and an author, a big mind who decided to simplify the idea of communication and who developed NVC to help us understand the structure of the effective communication, and who really wanted people to communicate more effectively and compassionately. His approach focuses on empathy, expressing your needs and feelings, and understanding of others to create connection and work towards a peaceful resolution. A quick note on empathy. Do you know what empathy is? I love the idea and practice of empathy because I truly believe it is our secret weapon in communication, a true secret weapon of every parent. Empathy is the ability to separate our feelings from the feelings of another person and still be present for them. So, empathy is not saying, oh, yeah, me too, it happened to me too. No, instead, it is saying, I can imagine that you're feeling so hurt right now by this, and it makes sense that you do. I would feel the same. You are not alone. This concept emphasizes that it is so beneficial to notice and validate the experience of our children and be there for them, um, be present and in the moment for them. We don't need to fix or distract children away from their experience right away. No, not at all. Instead, we can sit with them in their feelings, see them, experience them. Make it safe for them. Make it safe to feel sad that their toy broke. It actually makes sense, right? To feel sad about it. And so, when we learn to empathize with our children, make them feel seen and heard, they will learn how to empathize with others as well, just by watching us. And wouldn't that be an awesome tool to have as you grow up and learn to safely communicate with others in your life? So, why NVC? Right? Very often, when we try to communicate our needs to others, it causes conflict in the relationship. Have you ever been in a situation when you say something to your child and you see that they're not hearing what you're trying to tell them? On top of that, they're also trying to tell you something and you are not hearing them because they're not listening to you, and the circle continues on and on. How frustrating is this? In your head, you sound perfectly fine and logical, but your child is not having it. And they are also getting agitated because to them it looks like you're not listening to what they're saying. You continue to communicate the same way over and over, and the whole thing escalates into a conflict. Sounds familiar? It does to me. And it doesn't have to be your child. It could be your partner, your friend, your coworker. We often focus on ourselves during conversations while the other person also focuses on themselves. Do you see how this could create an inconsistency and disconnection? Both people are talking about their own needs and feelings without acknowledging the other. When we want to resolve something, our instinct is to express our own needs without wondering how that would affect the other person. It's not that we're bad. No, not at all. That's not what I'm saying. It's just that in our essence, first and foremost, we think about ourselves first. And that is fine as long as you are aware of this and know how to work around it. And this is where NVC comes in. It allows us to express our feelings and needs while still taking into consideration the other person. So let me tell you about the four components of NVC and how it can help you communicate clearly and without judgment. When you use NVC while communicating with your children, they learn to use it too, just by watching you. So NVC is like a structured script to have in your arsenal when you need to communicate clearly. It has four components. The first one is observations, which means that you should describe what you are seeing without judgment or analysis. For example, you can say something like, the trash can is full right now, or your plate is left on the dining table, or you didn't ask for my opinion when you bought that game for him. These examples, these phrases or statements are observations. They don't have judgment or criticism or analysis. They are neutral. As example of the opposite would be, you always wait for the trash can to overflow and stink up before you take it out. I am so tired of dealing with this. Or, you always leave your plate on the table. Why can't you just put it away like everybody else? Do you notice the difference? Did you hear how one is neutral and descriptive and the other one is accusatory and extreme? The second component of NVC is feelings, which means that you should identify and express your feelings and emotions accurately. Let me share with you something that you might not know about feelings. We have true feelings that we experience, and we have thoughts and assumptions that we often confuse as feelings, like fake feelings. Let me explain. Think about the time when you are describing how you feel. You would say something like, I feel sad, or I feel excited. Or you'd say something like, I feel like I'm being manipulated, or I feel like I'm being ignored. Do you hear the difference? In the first two examples, I have described actual feelings that anyone can experience. And in the second two examples, those were more like thoughts or guesses or assumptions about what someone else is doing to me. It's like we think that if we use the word feeling in the sentence, we are describing our feelings. And in reality, that's not so. Yes, those assumptions are related to our feelings, but they're not actually our feelings. So, for example, if you're feeling manipulated, you are assuming that someone is manipulating you, and in reality, you feel sad or mad or angry about it. Or if you're feeling like you're being ignored, you're guessing or thinking that someone is ignoring you. But what you're feeling in that moment is probably hurt or anger or sadness. Does that make sense? Do you see the difference? So remember, there are feelings and there are thoughts and assumptions. Now, going back to our example, let's continue with the one about the plate not being taken away from the table after dinner. We have a child who didn't take the plate away, didn't take it to the sink after dinner, and we have a parent who, instead of getting annoyed and offended, they decide to use NVC to reason with their child and to express their feelings, to identify and express their feelings. They say something like, I feel angry and overwhelmed. Or they can say, I feel frustrated and upset. They don't say, I feel like you don't care about me because you never put your plate away, right? Because that's just an assumption about why the child is not doing what is being asked of them. Now let's go to our third component of NVC. The third component is needs, which says that you should recognize underlying needs that motivate these feelings. What are needs? Needs are the deeper reasons behind how we feel about something. They're not wants, right? It's not about stuff that we want, like clothes or latest gadget. No, they are what is important to us, like being heard and respected and understood and having autonomy and trust. So if you're angry that your son is not listening when you ask him to clean his room, the need here might be for respect or understanding. And if you're sad that your daughter chose to listen to music instead of talking to you, the underlying need here might be for connection or to feel like you matter. I hope this makes sense. And you can also, if you'd like, send me a DM if you need more clarification here. Now, before we dive in deep into a real example on NVC, I wanted to take a quick moment and share with you a program that I have created to help you implement this amazing tool in your parenting, as well as a few others to help take your parenting to the next level. Meet the Parenting Reset, from control to connection. This is a 4-module program for parents who are ready for change. There is no judgment, no shaming or blaming, just tools, strategies, and information that will help you be a better parent for your kids while experiencing less stress and more confidence when you parent. Each of the 4 sessions include a 1-hour private coaching session with me and carefully designed take-home materials to review and reflect on after each module. We start with attachment science, where we look at what kind of connection your child really needs and what exactly you should thrive for, and where you may be unconsciously repeating the old patterns that came from generations before you. Then we dive into brain science, which is honestly a game changer for every parent I've worked with, myself included. When parents understand how brain development works and see what their child is capable of at each stage of their development, expectations shift, and so do power struggles. You won't believe how much relief you will have after this module. The next 2 modules are where everything clicks into place. In Module 3, we focus on communication. We learn more about nonviolent communication and practice it with real-life examples. And then we go through a 10-step communication framework you can use in difficult real-life conversations with your kids, your partner, your coworkers. Then we close with joy. Module 4 is about the power of play. Play is not just about fun, it's one of the most important tools for bonding with your kids, with your family. It helps so much with emotional regulation and promotes trust. These modules will change not just how you parent, but how your child experiences being parented by you. I am offering this full 4-module program at a price of $450. This includes 4 private 1-hour long coaching sessions with me, plus handouts and bonus materials for each topic so that you can go back to the information again and again while practicing new approaches at home. But because you've stayed this long with me today and will continue to listen to my talk on nonviolent communication and how to use it in real life, I want to offer you something extra. If you contact me after this talk and mention this presentation and a special magic word that I will share with you at the end of it, you will get 20% off the full price. That's right, it's $90 off for all of that. This discount is available only for attendees of this talk and is available for a limited time. So if you're ready for a real change, ready to start your parenting reset, this is the moment for you. Now let's go back to our topic and finish strong. So remember, we have 4 components of NVC: observations, feelings, needs, and requests. So far we've went over the first 3, and the real life example that we've chosen is where a kid did not take their plate to the sink after dinner and the parent decides to use NVC to reason with their child without getting into a conflict, without creating that power struggle we all try to avoid. So our neutral observation states, your plate is left on the dining table. See how it's neutral, very descriptive, and there's no judgment in the statement. Next is sharing or describing our feelings. I feel frustrated and upset. Again, these are feelings, frustrated, upset. These are not thoughts, not assumptions about what someone else is doing to us. The next part is needs. What is the need under those feelings? What need is being affected for the parent here? It could go something like this: because I need help to keep our space clean and clutter free. I cannot do it alone. And when I was coming up with this, trying to phrase number 3 properly, it took me a second, because you can always say, because I feel like you don't care about me and all I do for you. And we know now those are not really feelings. They are assumptions, a guess. We don't know exactly why the child didn't put their plate away. So we go with our feelings and our needs. Now let's move on to the 4th component of NVC and finish our sentence. The 4th component is requests, which means you should make a specific, actionable request to meet your needs. This is where you say what you need someone to do to meet your needs, to make you feel okay. Let's go back to our example. So we have, your plate is still on the dining table. I feel frustrated and upset because I need help to keep our space clean and clutter-free. I cannot do this alone. Next, we need to come up with a request that is realistic and actionable and still still does not include judgment or criticism, and this is what I came up with. Remember to put your plate away after you eat. Please remember to put your plate away after you eat. What do we think? Does this qualify as a specific, actionable request to meet our needs? I think so. There is no criticism, there's no judgment or accusation in this whole statement. We are stating what we see, how we feel, and what need is being affected for us, and how the other person can help us fulfill that need. So, as promised, I introduced you to a new concept of communication today. And on the screen, you can see the 4 components of nonviolent communication. It's been developed by Marshall Rosenberg to help us communicate more effectively and compassionately by using empathy and understanding of others to create connection and work through conflicts. This is a framework you can remember and use next time you want to have a productive conversation with your child or your spouse or anyone else in your life. It will help you get your point across more clearly and without offending, judging, and criticizing others around you. And so I thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this take on nonviolent communication and will be able to use it in your life to have less conflict and more connections in your relationships. If you'd like to get more parenting tools and strategies to simplify your life, check out my website and follow me on Instagram at Parenting Guide SoCal for parenting advice and real life strategies you can start using right away. You can also email me or text me with your questions and comments about parenting. And now, before we end, as I promised, the magic word that I promised to share with you to get this discount is reset. Write it down, make sure you remember to use it to sign up. You can text me or email me or DM me to sign up for this program. You can also access the sign up form in my bio on my Instagram account. I can't wait to hear from you, and I really do hope you have a wonderful day. Goodbye.